live on Spaces here for the NXT NXT Deadline show review. That was a lot of fun last night. Thanks to everybody who came out, especially Evil Dose and Awful Wrestling, both hanging out for much longer than I expected anybody to, and same with the amount of people that we had in the show. It was great. That was absolutely awesome. Where's George? What are you doing, buddy? So hope everybody had a good Sunday, had a good weekend. I saw George his Bills won, so that's important to him. I know. There he is. Invite to co-host, invite to speak. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, no, for sure. I also double checked, George, too, that if you are a co-host and are put in that way, if the audio goes out, just somebody let us know. Somebody just needs to put in any comment.
Yeah, I can tell you're starting to go already, though.
Really?
You started facing. You're good now.
All right. I was going to say,
that's what I was hanging on for.
All right. Because I rebooted everything with it. But as long as you're a co-host, which, it says it right there.
That stays there, yeah.
Yeah, I can, refresh the browser because that's basically the big fix. But at least I checked from different Reddit threads. It's not just us having that issue with Spaces. It's just sometimes it'll happen. Sometimes it won't. So, but I just figure, I like doing the show on Spaces, though. I like having, as much coverage as we can.
Yeah, it always helps.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's like WWE. They're on well, even when, and not anymore, but there was a time where they had the speed on X, they were on Netflix, broadcast, and cable. Like they figure they cover all their bases. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm pretty happy today. Not gonna lie.
You and me both, buddy.
I'm trying to contain my excitement because
be
the
happy.
Bills. I mean, I'm watching the game, right? It's the fourth quarter.
Nice.
I'm like, okay, it's a good game.
Boy,
Cincinnati scores twice, I think, and I'm down. I'm like, fourth quarter. I'm gonna take a shower. We're down by whatever. I'm taking a shower. And the time I showered, the Bills scored 21 points in 4 minutes and 3 seconds.
Jesus.
So I came out of the shower. I went back into the bathroom and just sat there.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything. Just kind of walked around.
No,
all right. Came back out. We won the game. Like that works.
Yeah. No, we don't have it as a general rule anymore because my group's a lot bigger than it used to be for my Tottenham group for soccer games. But we used to have a rule that hey man, if you were in the bathroom and we score, you got to stay in there, man. At least at the end of the half. So you'd be holding it if you can. Yeah.
That's where I was to the fourth. Yeah. Right about the minute marker. And I was like, okay, I can come back out now.
There's still us original 20 people in the group. We still honor it. I try to hold it if I can. Or the other team has the corner kick. I'm like, I'll go to the bathroom now.
Yeah. Jacksonville won today too, by the way.
I saw Tony's post. I follow him now because it's easier to get the live views there. So I'm seeing his posts.
There's a reason I'm bringing that up. But.
All right, what's up? Usually, you usually have a plan. I appreciate.
I noticed ROH was Friday, and he did he does a media scrum for that too. Believe it or not,
I saw there was a post scrum or something.
Yeah, they do the same thing. After the show, he does the scrum, which I never thought was possible, but he does.
I saw some of that on. Go.
I happened to catch some of it, not much, but just enough where I wanted to hear what I wanted to hear. Someone asked him about the Netflix deal. And he started flexing all of his NFL associations and stuff. Keep in mind that the NFL and WWE are pretty much like bread and butter, you know what I mean?
Right. No, they've got
they don't know about AEW and that stuff. But Tony was flexing that, which was funny because I started, yesterday we opened up the program with the Netflix stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought I was missing something. I thought I wasn't getting the full story. I thought something was off for me. So I kind of was, before we came on, I went to 3 or 4 different spots just to get some clarity for myself. And I have the clarity I was looking for. So Tony has nothing to worry about for 3 years with this Netflix thing. Because Netflix is only interested in the Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers Studios and HBO stuff. That's it.
Right. Not the TV.
That's all they bid for. They did not bid for TNT, TBS, CNN, Discovery. Right. None of that. None of that's in the bid.
Right, but
that's all going to become. That's all going to become Discovery Global. Okay, all that area, that's sports and all that shit. It's all Discovery Global. So they're off to the side. They're not even involved in Netflix. HBO Max will be going to Netflix if it's approved.
That's what they want. Netflix wants HBO Max. They want like the Warner Brothers IP and film library to have for them, and then any studios that they still have, like the physicals. No, they wanted the specific things. Yeah, the other ones. It's funny when anybody throws out the Discovery word. I feel like Discovery Channel. They've just been as slapped onto so many things. Like, yeah, they're a part of it. We're like, we're here.
I just put Discoveries on my notes.
No, it's just. Just makes me laugh.
It took a while to break it down because everyone's like, TNT and TBS aren't even involved. Nothing to do with them. Nothing to do with Netflix at all. Zero. Right. So 3 years is 3 years. That's going to go. Whatever happens then happens then. I'm not concerned about that.
Yeah. The only thing that I don't understand there is like, so what happened? So let's just say the deal does go through and then so TBS and TNT are standalone what? They've been part of a.
Well, they're not, they now become the group called Discovery Global.
Oh, okay. They go there. Okay. I didn't know if they'd become like an independent network like AMC or whatever.
They're all under that boat. Discovery Global basically consists of I'm missing some channels. TNT, TBS, CNN, all the discoveries you can think of are all in there, and some other things I missed, but that's the majors.
Right. So, and somewhere in there, somebody's going to have a streamer that they would simulcast on. Cause that when you look at AEW now, we don't know the max numbers, and obviously they're not as big as they are. And I joke that they're very small, but I'm sure there's a decent amount. Cause I'll tell you now, since we've been covering it to do the live show on Thursdays, every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on the AltJake TakesOn YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Link is in the description of this. I've been watching it through HBO Max. It's just easier for me. Like I know it's going to be there. I know it's going to work, like in case, like if a cable goes out or something with it. It's always right there though. At HBO Max. It works great. It's similar to Netflix. If you start it a little bit later, you could fast forward through the commercials. So I don't mind it.
I tend to agree with people that say it's about 25 to 50,000. People watching on HBO Max. I go there.
No, I could see that. I know. Yeah. For me, it's like, it's so much easier I've been doing it, but if they would move to a different streaming service, I would just figure out how to work that one. Like everybody's got, I still like, they should do everything as free or cheap as they can. Cause I don't want to compare them to like us, but the reason that we are on as much as we can be and try to stream everywhere and be on, we don't have any like paywall stuff or anything because we want more eyes and ears. Like we're just about exposure, getting people to see what we're doing, hear what we're doing now. And I feel like that's, again, back to the Ring of Honor and being on YouTube. Like, why is it not there for free for everybody to see? Like,
it was weird.
You're not making that much money out of it where it's going to make it
Friday
different.
night. No one knew what even happened.
Yeah. No, the only reason I even knew of it is because I was tuning into Dis Is Awful on their YouTube channel. They went and they didn't do Thursday. They went Friday because of the WB deal at Netflix and stuff. They want to talk about that. But like towards the end, all of a sudden somebody gave Dis the Iggy that Tony was doing it and they tried to pull it up. But he wasn't like taking live questions there. It was just like he was being interviewed in front of the ring, but it was a live media scrum. But just because he wouldn't want to take those questions. Like, no, I don't.
I really wish he would answer a question. That's all I really want is him to actually answer a question.
No,
because even the Netflix answer was just mumbo jumbo. It was just all my NFL partners. If he just told it like it is. Our contract is solid for 3 years, no matter.
Right.
I would accept that.
Right. We're good. Yeah. We're going to continue to grow and expand. And when the next negotiations come up, we'll be ready to play, or play ball or whatever.
Yeah. They won't nearly get anywhere near what they're getting now.
No.
Because what you're going to have when that comes up again in Discovery Global is what you're going to have is a company that's trying to hang on and not throwing money away like Warner Brothers was originally doing with AEW. Right.
So now and other things too.
Yeah, they're crunching AEW numbers. They're trying to be frugal at Discovery Global. It's a totally different situation. But again,
right.
It's way on the line.
Right. And even if other people bid within it, they're not going to be bidding against the old number. They'll be bidding against the new number. It's
so the only thing they got to worry about is HBO Max. That's going to be it. So
I'm
glad I got that cleared up because I was a little bit confused and felt like I wasn't giving people 100% what I thought was 100%.
Yeah, no, I said it, but I didn't, like I said, but I was still part of the whole thing of like, it's all going to be up in the air. Nothing's completed. We don't know. Cause And I didn't realize that there was the Discovery Global thing, though. I just knew they weren't bidding on TBS and TNT, but I didn't know a single thing beyond that. That's all I had. So I didn't know much. And I was wondering, I didn't know what that meant for them. But if they're going to be part of the other network, yeah, they'll just put whatever money they do put behind will be for one of the streamers that they have. They'll make sure it's their biggest one. And then AEW can be a part of that, because at that point, they're just going to want content.
Think about where their money is going to go if it's frugal. They cover the NHL and some other sports. They're going to want to go there first.
Oh no, for sure.
Spend their money with stuff they can trust. Yeah. Like NHL ratings, they're not great, but they're consistent.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. And then this is where I wonder if it comes out to, like, because I've always stood very firm on the fact, not firm, but I don't believe that Dave has a financial stake in AEW. No, really. So I just think that he gets, like, I think Tony pays for his hotels and his flights and all of that and pampers him or whatever, but his subscriber base is the AEW base. But I do believe that WBD has something somewhere, like, you know what I mean, where they're getting a cut of it or whatever. Or so I don't know. It's going to be very interesting for us to watch. And the way we quote unquote report, since we don't actually report anything, we wait till it all breaks down and then talk about it. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Like I said, the only reason I did that was just because I thought I was missing something. So now it kind of makes sense to me. So now I'm good.
No, and the Discovery Global was a significant miss. I didn't know that. I just knew they weren't bidding on the TNT and TBS, but what did that mean? Now that understands, because also too, I did see that thing where they put the picture up where they had it split and I guess it was WBD and then with the Discovery Global was, but AEW's logo wasn't on there, but the Turner stuff was. This is interesting. This will be fun to say, but that's
fun to watch.
Yeah.
And before we start, also, I want to just clarify one thing.
Yeah.
Tony Khan's involvement with the Jaguars. Okay. For those of you that think he's involved in day-to-day operations and is there 7 days a week, it doesn't happen that way. NFL people regard Tony, this is just from what I've noticed and what I've heard and what I've seen on TV. Tony Khan is Shad's son, Shad's little boy.
Yep. He's the kid.
And what they do and what Tony does is exactly as I'm going to state to you. Come draft time, after the draft is over, 7 rounds are completed, Tony takes out his cool chart that he has and his ruler and goes through and finds the players that are all not drafted, calls said players, and gives them a chance to make the roster. That's all he does, is make phone calls and tell them it's great, hope you can come in. We'd love to have you. We've seen him on TV doing this on his Tony Khan.
I was going to say, if you've watched, like, what is it, Hard Knocks on HBO, like, that stuff makes total sense for how they do it.
That's all he does is call undrafted kids, okay? Promises a chance, which he doesn't promise anything, which is good. I like that. And then they come to camp. If they make the team, somehow or another, one a year seems to make the team from what I've seen. So he probably gets a little, extra check maybe for the one guy that makes it. I don't know how that works. I'm sure he does. That's all he does. He's not there in the weeds, not at all.
An extra hug from Shad.
He's not regarded in the NFL community at all.
And he had a chance to possibly show it. Like, they gave him one opportunity because of Shad. And what did he do? He compared WWE to Harvey.
There's reasons.
Here's your chance, Tony. In a neck brace and oh god, no, there was a reason why Nick Khan called him the kid. Like, that wasn't like, it was a dig, but it wasn't like there was meaning behind that. He didn't come up with that himself. Somebody else had called him that or whatever.
On his Twitter, his Twitter's got something funky like owner of the Jags on there, I think.
Because technically Chad, like, considers him that, but he doesn't have any, like, actual power. Yeah. Like, anybody, if Tony makes the decision, they go, okay, sir, and then they call Chad or call his secretary.
No, there's no decisions he makes.
Right, exactly.
I think his analytics are. He didn't use his analytics company, I don't think.
Yeah,
I'm not sure it's still around.
Same with their soccer team in England, which is Fulham Football Club. They don't. He talks about them and they won and, like, he celebrated, but he's not part of that. Like, you know what I mean? It's a similar thing. I'm sure there's probably some sort of, like, because in soccer, usually it's like they'll like you pay for the player transfer as opposed to like trades. Every now and then there'll be throw-ins, but very rarely does somebody's contract end and they're just a free agent. It does happen. They call it a free transfer, but it's not very often. I mean, if that's what he's doing for them, I mean, that's like the fringe of the fringe. You're very rarely it's like a miracle when it happens when the player gets signed from like those super lower leagues or whatever. Like Jamie Vardy did it a few years ago, and like it was literally like their version of like the comeback story of the century, and like it's because it doesn't happen. Like just like high school kids are scouted here or whatever for sports, like you're put into academies at like 8, 9, 10 years old over there, and to make it through. It's very rare somebody doesn't. So I don't think what he could possibly be doing for them either.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Right? Like that's it. You know what I mean? Like I was just gonna say, to the big giant surprise of nobody.
Yeah, I'm not putting them down. It's just it's that there's nothing for him to do. I mean, he's busy doing what he does. Let him do what he does.
Well, and because he needs to be like such a big important part of it, and like just to back even to wrestling. Like if he had like, all right, I'm going to fund this, going to put people in charge, and I'm going to follow them around, ask questions. I'm going to learn. I'm going to figure this out. So in a couple of years, I know what I'm doing and I can do this. But same with the NFL or
I think he would learn from his dad.
Like, I mean, you'd think, but
he would learn from his father.
You would think, but his
father sits back and watches the game every week. He's got a GM. He's got a coach. They do all that stuff. Chad does nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, Tony probably wants to be like Chad made his money with the bumper. I don't know. I try to get in the mind of Tony Khan and my eye goes cross-eyed. That's why I like to watch the lives and laugh. I mean, it is what it is. We know who he is at this point. He is a 43-year-old adult, but he's been pampered his entire life. No one tells him no. He gets pouty if he's criticized at all, even if it's good constructive criticism. He can't answer the questions, like you were saying. Like all he does is, if it's the worse the question is, the nicer his initial compliment is to who asked it. Like he always compliments. That's the first thing he does.
Oh, thank you for asking that. Thank you for asking that.
You are such a great investigative reporter, blah, blah, blah. And then he does that because that's his move. He's like a politician. He pampers him up, and then he starts to kind of answer the question and then takes a left and just hopes that he can loop back around and you don't stop him. And he'll just take a wrong turn at Albuquerque and end up like wherever he feels. That's every time. Like that's why the Ariel Helwani interview sucked, was because he would start and like Helwani.
The second one wasn't much better.
No, the second one was terrible. I'm talking the recent one. Like the old one was terrible, but the recent one that was like, hey, when you heard it was going to happen, you thought maybe, but Helwani's gotten soft in that, I guess. Cause I was like, you'd see Tony lefting. I'd like stop him there. Be like, okay, we don't care about that. What about this? What about, You did a little bit with the Punk, but not much.
You would just think that if you saw your dad acquire an NFL franchise and then put people in place around him, that you would just emulate that. That's my thought.
I mean, yes, we would, but we were raised also like to think in that way. Like I just think he thinks he's the best.
Look at Mark Davis from the Raiders.
Don't make me. I'm just kidding. That's a mean
He learned from his dad. I mean, he's a putz and all, but that's fine. But he doesn't involve himself in day-to-day operations of the Raiders.
The owner's box. Yeah, no.
He sits there.
He's not Jerry Jonesing it.
Yeah.
No, just that guy's thing. For somebody who's a billionaire, he looks with that haircut that he's got.
I love that haircut, dude. So bold. What a statement.
That's a billionaire's haircut if I've ever seen one. I don't
Mo. It's Mo.
Yeah, seriously. It's like Mo with a bit of a mullet in the back and then the small yeah. And then that whole story of the thing where it wasn't even him, like there was a model was pictured in his box, but she was there with somebody else. And like for some reason it went viral that she was dating him, and people like made jokes about it, but they weren't. And it was like, well, clearly. And if she was there for the money, but it was fun. I forget who that model was, but that you see that story of like he was dating I'm sure he probably is now. This was years ago. This was never still in Oakland.
They're all, I mean, they think they're smart about it. Tony just hadn't, I would just think you'd see it and want to be like that. That's all.
No, you had at that point that you try to think of it and then you go, because your brain can't, because you can't actually think the way just because I don't, there's just no like logic or reason or like hey, maybe we aren't on the best run of shows that we've been on in forever, or maybe we aren't turning into like, but he believe, like, that's why it's like, oh, he's lying. Like, he's not though, because he believes it. Like, it's factually untrue, but he would pass a polygraph because he believes it. We're turning the corner. 2023 is going to be the new 2021. 2024 is going to be the new 2021. No, in 2021 you had CM Punk.
And what they're going to look at is eventually going to come down to when this Discovery Global thing pops in. Like last Wednesday night was Thanksgiving Eve. They did 512. Remember?
Yeah,
they did 512 viewers. The year before, I think they were at 606. I think it was. Year before that, they were at 800 and something. Oof. Okay. So that's what they're going to look at. They don't look at this week to week shit that Dave wants us to believe. They were up, which they were from the week before, but they were at 475 2 weeks ago. No. This week they were at 512. Big friggin' deal. That's not how a network operates. Network operates year after year, and they take a look at that, and maybe 6 months. That's probably year after year sounds like a good starting point to Joe Blow myself here.
Year is where everything is based off of, and they'll go back 2, 3, 4 years. Now, this is where
look at that drop. We're at 200,000 people gone.
Not to Max.
Seriously.
Not to HBO Max. Some of them, maybe 20,000, but not 200 of them. No, but this is where Dave also, like, when he posts and I can't see anything, shout out to Alfred Kanoa, who like puts his posts together, like in like 12 of them in one picture and like puts them up so I could, but, Dave comes back to like, calls them the second, they're like the most profitable startup since whatever, but like he only counts the money they brought in. He doesn't count that they've spent money. So to him, it's profitable. Just like, no, they're up from last week, but no, it didn't matter that it was at 800,000 2-3 years ago, or, like they were even when the million used to be the kind of mark, but they were consistently for years over 800,000. Like when people were like, no, Millie, it was funny. And then it was like 700, 600.
They were selling out Chicago, all the places with 10 to 15,000 people.
Yeah.
Now they're in 1,200 seat theaters.
Yeah. No, when they came here the first 2 times, maybe 3, they were at the Sun Stadium. At least I went the first time they were here, and then they sold out the entire bottom portion of the arena. And it was I don't know how many people that was. They didn't open the upstairs, but it was full. It wasn't like the hard cam sign was. It was good. And I haven't been to another show but I will go on the 15th.
I don't normally jump on Dave. You know me at this point. I'm not really jump in there, but I don't like when he does the
pile at this point.
I don't like the whole, when they did 512 for Thanksgiving evening, they did 512, and his big thing was they're up 4% from last week. So it's 475 to 512. That's bad.
Dave takes every possible number that he can get and finds the most positive one, and however he can spin it. And that's how Tony ends up saying like things like,
that's the problem.
Oh, well, we're up in Q2 of 2023 more than
they don't
Q4
give a shit.
Of 2022.
Companies don't give a shit about that. They're going to look at the year. What was the year before? Okay, 620. What was the year before that? 820. What was the year before that? 920. What was the year before that? 1 million. Okay, do the math. We're not giving you a lot of money. Sorry, pal.
Yeah, no, and just like look at the crowds, look at the houses. Like no matter what you put, you don't want to put that on your TV show of like clearly empty seats, and it's just.
And I'm not a president. I'm not running a network. Okay, George over here is not running a network, and if I see those numbers, you'd be lucky if I take you.
Yeah. No, that's.
And I like watching AEW. I'm having fun with this Thursday stuff. But Jesus.
Because we're getting to report on it, I'm having enjoy, because I'm writing down different notes or things that I can say that I think might be funny or something with it. So I had that last joke in the chamber for a colleague. It's what I do. Because it's fun to watch it in that respect of it. Plus, I genuinely feel like we're doing a good service for people that were where I was before we were doing it, where I wasn't watching the show in any way. But I would want to know what was going on so that I could be parts of conversations and stuff. But yeah, no, so I would find somebody to review it, but hell, fuck it, we'll do it. Kind of like the watch along yesterday, like the watch party yesterday. Like I've been wanting to do them, and screw it, let's go. It was fun. Which again, thanks everybody for tuning in. We had a consistent crowd. I mean, I think it was around 10 to 12 people the entire time, which doesn't sound like a lot to everybody else, but trust me, George and I for 3.5 hours, we were pumped. People and the chat engaging the whole time. And Awful was like, maybe I might. I don't think I'm going to. And then I sent him the link and he's like, all right, yeah, I'm working. I'll be in a few minutes. Like, really? Thanks out to him. He hung out the whole time. Dose I figured would show up because I know he's Team NXT. Yeah. But that was fun.
But to finish out my point real quick, any major star that's not signed with WWE right now is in AEW. So you have people there that are considered stars. You do. Yeah, yet it doesn't. Tony's not doing something. If AEW fails, it's Tony Khan's fault. That's the best way of putting it. JD said it on his little rant the other day. I spent 2 minutes in there because I don't like the way he sometimes projects, but I picked up what he was saying. He said that straight out, and I totally agree. If this fails, it's not because of anything but Tony Khan. That's it.
That's 100%. No, so what I've learned about JD is when other people, like, what is it, like Machiavelli and like, I think Powerful King JJ maybe, or one of those killers, they'll like type his quotes out and post. I could read JD's stuff and I can get with his points. Look, I'm Italian and Jewish. I've been yelled at a lot in my life. I don't need extra yelling. Like, we're good.
When he's calm,
you're right.
He's fine. But you can tell when he starts moving in that direction that I'm about to leave this video.
He starts loading up like, all right.
But I'm okay with him. He's all right.
Yeah, I have no problem with him. Like I said, his style's not for me, but I don't mind the guy. At least, especially now. Like before I had issues where it was always trying to, because again, people who just blindly support are like, no, this is good. Like, we know it's not, guys. I'm sorry. And hey, if it is good, we'll talk about it. I've said plenty of different things that are good. There's usually at least one or two things each show that I enjoy or try to enjoy.
Speaking of stuff that was good, what about last night?
Yeah, no, NXT, that was good. That was a good transition in. No, the NXT Deadline with the Iron Survivor matches, which is
from San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah, which like we talked about, it's one of the good gimmicks that actually, that's one of the new gimmicks that works. Like it's yes, it is gimmicky, but once you figure out what's going on, it becomes fun. And then once 4 or all 5 are in there, it becomes exciting with it. But I thoroughly enjoyed the show.
Yeah, like me, you, and Dose were able to figure it out. Awful was taking a little bit of time to try to but I think by the understand the concept of everything. It was a lot of print on the screen for a short time there. But
this is true. This is true. I think by the second one, through the men's one, I think he was like, okay, I get it. And hey, the other thing too is I feel like if he wasn't enjoying it, he'd have dipped. He was fine. So no, it was good. It was also fun that he hadn't seen Javon Evans or Leon Slater much yet. That was cool.
That was the wrong time to watch him, though. I will say that.
At the beginning, I'll say that, but it got better with it. And but then I think what we also told, like, both kids are like, Leon just turned 21.
Yeah, they're both 21.
Yeah, that's like you got to like, oh well, shit, that's a bit of a difference. But
we opened up strong.
I was gonna say the show started off with Oba Femi and Ricky Saints, which I mean, I know not everybody sold on Ricky, but I think his personality, and I definitely think he is a star. I kind of thought putting the title on him when they did was a little bit too soon. I don't know if maybe Oba needed a surgery or something with it, but this was a good, fun match. I mean, obviously Oba's going to dominate. I mean, look at the guy. He's, 6'6", 2, like 310 or whatever we looked at yesterday.
He's a big man.
He's a large man. And again, he's only 27. Yeah, he's 6'6", 310. That's what I thought. Yeah, no, and Ricky Saints is, well, not.
Yeah, this was noticeable. Like I said, even Awful noticed. Awful was not a Ricky Saints fan in the least.
No. And I understand.
I was kind of he kind of explained where he was coming from, and it kind of made sense after I looked at it. Like the haircut, the image doesn't portray right for some reason. He's got the talent. There's no doubt about it, but there's something missing.
Yeah, no, and that's why I feel like, and maybe this is good. Maybe this will be kind of a turn. Maybe they kind of brought him in with what his character was and they didn't tweak it to then work with it because they didn't expect to send him. I think he's kind of more, because again, he was in AEW for a while and you've got to unlearn those bad habits. And I feel like that what I like about Ricky is he seems like the guy who's willing to put in the work. Like, hey, what do you want me to do? What do you need me to do? I'm here.
So.
Yeah, exactly. And I think maybe because, he lost the match. He didn't look weak. It was a good match. He got his stuff in. He got as many moves as he could in. He tried to do DDTs and use his quickness, but I kind of figured unless somebody was going to interfere, Oba made the most sense. I did think somebody was going to interfere. I didn't I should have made a guess. I didn't even think to make a guess of who it would have been. I don't think I would have guessed what happened at the end of the show, but yeah, Oba
Usually
Femi won.
NXT's pretty cool about the interference until the end.
Yeah, I just
Usually.
thought, no, you're right. That's a good point, and they don't overdo it with it, and so because of that, you got the result that you figured you probably should. Plus,
but the thing that was on the line that we didn't know prior to going in was the winner of this match. This first match gets to face Cody on this coming Saturday's, whatever the hell it's called. Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, no,
sorry. Before I said it wrong, I was going to say it right.
No, I just, Mike popped me with his comment. I was trying to figure out he's like, it's the ears. So it could be.
Yeah,
honestly,
it is.
He needs better hair with it. He's got the
hair to cover the ears.
But they didn't,
I just didn't want to say it.
No, it's a good, hey, we're all honest around here. It's fine. Hey, as somebody who's got a large set of ears, I get it. It happens. They're there. I'm like, it's part of life. But I thought, I thought the match worked very well with what it was supposed to do. Oba gets over, and Oba makes sense to hold the title for a while and facing Cody. I mean, Ricky versus Cody, people have seen. You can kind of configure it would be one of those like Cody goes over but puts Ricky over. This is like, oh shit, Cody might
This is totally different,
right? Like this is
an exhibition, so they don't have to do a damn. They can go for 15 minutes, and they can go for 15, 20 minutes if they want and have a bullshit finish. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, but I don't even know if they'll have a bullshit finish. I don't know if maybe
they can go anywhere they want. They're not going to have Cody lose. They're not going to have Cody lose.
I would think not, unless like Drew messes with them or something.
That's what I'm saying with a bullshit finish.
Yeah, exactly. So Cody can, have that. But, it's one of those things. It's one of those things too of like where Oba is, and I know a lot of people think he's ready for the main roster. He's got the look. He does. Just give him time, guys. He hasn't been doing this that long. Let him get 100 matches under his belt.
This is the reason why he's getting this match.
Exactly. Cody's the perfect person to wrestle with.
If he does well, if we watch this match Saturday and he does well, guess what? Your prediction will be wrong.
I mean, I don't think
it'll go up.
I don't think it'd be that soon. Because if he has a great match with Cody, Cody's a great leader. Like, I just don't think Oba's ready full on main roster, and he doesn't need to yet. Like,
they're going to need to start replacing guys pretty soon because that's leaving. So yeah,
right. And honestly, I'm like the reason I'm saying no at this point is because of WrestleMania. If you bring him up now, he's got to go on WrestleMania, and that card doesn't have a lot of room right now. He can be the star of Stand and Deliver, and then if he loses there or whatever, then go up. That's fine. Come up the Raw after Mania, perfect. I love it. But I just think I still think he could use time because I just look at the Braun Breaker effect where he was ready. Yes, he was, but the seasoning made him perfect, and that's why he is where he is. And there's just the roster's already pretty bloated, so let it unbloat a little bit for it. And, Trick's got to go up first. I was happy in the end of it, though, because I thought of it more of like if there's anybody on the main roster, I would want somebody who's potentially the next massive star, a big guy who's green, but we're trying to see what he's got in him. Cody's the perfect candidate to wrestle.
And these are all exhibition matches.
Yep.
Keep that in mind.
Yep. And it's one of those things too where it's not the main attraction. No matter what happens on this show, on the rest of Saturday night's main event, you're not going to be a bigger attraction than John Cena's last match, especially versus Gunther. So they've set themselves up well in that respect, I feel like. Yeah.
I wonder how long that show's going to go.
Yeah, because it's just on Peacock, you might. Yeah, they're no longer on NBC with it.
You might get a 2.5 to 3 hour show out of this one.
You might get like a 2.5 hour show and then like a thank you Cena half hour at the end and becomes 3 hours in full. I'm not sure. I'm just I get right. Like what I'm really excited for is it after Raw tomorrow that they're releasing the full interview with Rinaldi. I purposely haven't been watching. I watched some of the clips, but I'm like I just want to watch that thing in full tomorrow. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of it, so that's why
I've seen little bits here and there, but usually I'm skipping through commercials anyway. And so when I watched NXT live on Tuesday, I saw the parts of it, but just made me go, yeah, I'm ready for that interview. Plus,
I see the beginning of it and I walk out the door, so I'm going to wait for
That's fair. No, it's smart. That's smart. So then the next match was the Women's Iron Survivor match, which was the first one of the night. And just so people, for people who don't know, may as well talk about it. It's 5 people total, but it starts with 2 wrestlers start the match, and then every 5 minutes somebody else comes in. And then essentially whoever gets the most pinfalls or submissions wins the match. But if you get pinned, you go spend, 90 seconds in the penalty box. Yeah. That's the big thing that makes it different. But honestly, it sounds more difficult than it is, especially when you're watching it, because it does get to be a lot of fun.
First time through, it's a mess because you don't know.
You're right.
You don't know what the hell you're watching.
I don't think it was last year was the first. I think the year before was the first time I watched. It's a little difficult the first time, but especially also too, you're asking people who are in developmental to be a part of it. So even this one, they brought in Kendal Gray, who's like really in developmental. She's the women's champion on Evolve. And so that bringing her was a big step for it. But I mean, shout out to Evil Dose. He knew something.
No longer Evil Dose, by the way.
Oh, right. He's the Evolve mole. You're right.
Yeah. I should take a cut of that, by the way.
Yeah, I should take a cut of 10%. You're like Don Homer. You got
my ideas are all being used.
Hey, I get you. I understand. I get it. But yeah, so this was.
Yeah, he picked her in the beginning, right?
He did. No, he picked her from the beginning. And it was the match was Kalani Jordan, Kendal Gray, Sol Ruka, Lola Vice, Jordan Grace. Kendal Gray being she has been featured on NXT quite a bit recently of it because she's the Evolve Women's Champion. And they've teamed her with Ren Sinclair, which Ren Sinclair is essentially NXT's Chelsea Green, where you can put her in anywhere. She can work as comedy. She's a pretty good wrestler. Like, she's great with it. But this was, it was fun. So it started with, I think it was Kendal and Kalani. I think were the first two that came in.
Yeah, Kalani was first. I know that.
Yeah, I know Kalani was first, and I think it was Kendal Gray afterwards.
Yeah, she went the full distance. Give her credit. I think she was in the penalty box once or twice, Kendal Gray. So that's a pretty good run of time there.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's one of those things where also too, even Awful note, because obviously their show is on Tuesday nights, Toonie Talk Wrestling. Tune in on YouTube. They're a lot of fun to watch, but they go up right up against NXT. And so, he hasn't watched with it, which is fair. But the first thing when Kalani came out, he's like, who is this? And through that match, I think she might have gotten more over with him than anybody, because as we've talked about, she's got all the tools. She still is learning and figuring it out. This is her first heel run, but I didn't expect the heel run to work nearly as well as it has. But
she gets to use her gymnastical background in a heelish way, which is
right. And the thing about it is those gymnastics usually is kind of like why sometimes the lucha guys have trouble being, it is what it is. But she's great. There's a reason why La Piccolo's talent agency signed her, so it makes sense. But no, they went back and forth, and then Sol Ruka came out, and Kalani attacked her knee, and I knew the knee of Sol Ruka was going to come into play because they kept pushing it the last couple of weeks on NXT. I thought it was going to be Zarya. It wasn't, but the Sol got to make the late run in and hit the double Soul Snatcher and get the double pin, and where you thought she was going to win it, and then it seemed like she wasn't, and then Kendal Gray came in and basically just snuck in and stole the win at the end. It surprised everybody in the chat and everybody on the show except for Evolve Mole. He knew he was a mole. He knew. Good for Dose, man. That was cool to see.
Yeah, there were some sick spots going on in this one.
There was.
It was good stuff. Like, I think Soul did the Soul Snatcher off the apron the one time, and I was like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, and they also too, Kalani hit the was it the Spanish Fly with Jordan Grace onto the outside. Like, no, that's why I was honestly surprised that the women's match was first. Obviously, with what happened at the end, we know why, but because we've talked about it before, NXT has zero issue letting the women main event because they're usually talented enough to do it, and this match was great. What's also good about the Iron Survivor matches is, from the first bell, 25 minutes. That's it. That's the whole match, which is good. It's because, so we've also watched more AEW pay-per-view since we've been live reviewing that, and so them's long. Them some long pay-per-view.
Yeah, your time going in, so that always helps.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then
but it was good. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch how they were working the penalty box spots and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that was believable. Yeah. You had fights going on in the penalty box, stuff like that, it's believable because you get two people, a heel and a baby face in the penalty box. They're not going to get along, and sure enough,
right?
They didn't.
Yeah. No, that was great when Soul got the back-to-back pins because both of them go in the box. It's like, and they beat, and they're put in that tight little area. No, it was fun. And the way they use it too, with like either trying to lock the doors or hold them shut. Later on, one was used as a weapon. It's fun. No, it's a good time.
Was the one was it the men's or the women's where they used the door?
Yeah, it was the men's because it was Dion Lennox.
We'll say that.
I think it was Javon. Yeah, somebody comes up, bam, right, pow, right, and they kiss her. And then the match that was what it was, but just kind of proves why we like Ethan Page so much. Of Ethan Page versus Mr. Iguana. Now, it was only 8.5 minutes, so it wasn't that long, but people like Mr. Iguana, San Antonio's close to the border. I understand why they did it, but Ethan Page did what he needed to do and let some comedy happen, but got the win pretty decisively once he got pissed.
Yeah, there was no way this was going any other way than what it went.
Yep.
So. But people, like we know, we even talked about yesterday, there's a reason why Iguana really is best in tag teams, because you get a small dose of him and he's out, get a small dose of him and he's out, etc., etc. That's the way. I mean, you can't. A whole 8-minute match was too much.
Right. I was gonna say 8.5, and it felt longer. But what this was doing was, because Paige and Chelsea have the mixed tag titles from AAA, and they took them from Iguana and whoever his partner was, and they want them back, and they have a pay-per-view or PLE coming up in sometime in like December 20th or something like that. So, that made sense.
His partner's, the ex-fighter, NXT girl fighter.
No, it's not Lola Vice. No,
I thought she was champ with her.
She tagged with him for something. No, like, cause there were some things that I heard about that, like, they might be doing something where, Iguana's partner was mad at Lola for that. No, they weren't. I thought that too, but that was not the case. No, I can look up who the tag champion partner was though. Give me a second. Cause then we had
that's the reason why he was there. Cause they got the big event coming over the weekend, setting up for the December.
Yeah, no, he was the AAA World Mixed Tag Champions with La Hydra.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Now it all makes sense.
Yeah, I just knew it was no, because I thought the same thing as you, and somewhere I saw posted it was. I'm like, huh, what? And I looked into it. Yeah, it was somebody else, and apparently people thought there was some heat because they thought that Lola was actually like with Mr. Iguana because she was being flirty, but that's just her character, and also she's with Damian Priest, and let's be real, like, I mean, Mr. Iguana's cool, but I mean, Priest is Damian Priest. So, so then the next match was the grudge match of Izzy Dame versus Tatum Paxley, because Izzy cost Paxley the NXT Women's Championship.
This was surprisingly good.
I was gonna say this was exactly what it needed to be. It's one of those things that and I give credit to people because I kind of just dismissed Tatum Paxley as being the crazy girl character, but she's pulling this off not only that well, but she's damn good in the ring. Like, she's where she needs to be. She's got good facials. She doesn't have much size, but that's fine. But that's what Izzy works at. Izzy's got size. She's tall.
Yes.
Yeah, right. We were talking about that at the match. She's a tall girl. No, but this,
like we mentioned yesterday, they really have to stop doing this whole give your person a hug, be happy, and then look into the camera and smile and go, oh, I got you now.
I agree.
She did it twice during this.
Well, they each did it too. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. I'm with you. I get it. I fully understand.
Just like I said, live. If you're a guy giving the hug, just give him the hug and give him a knee to the nuts. That's it. You don't got to make the smile thing. You're fine.
Yeah, no, the live with Cena worked because Cena got a payback before he leaves because nothing paid out of it with The Rock. Like, that's fine. But
yeah, I
get what you mean. I understand.
Yeah,
I was giving what I liked but that's all. No, we're good. No, I fully get you. No, and it's funny because I was like 10 seconds ahead of you. And
yeah, I know.
You had just finished like saying,
and
she did it again. And I was just like, oh shit. And I just bit my tongue. I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. That was good. And so, yeah, for the next NXT PLE, which is not New Year's Eve, unfortunately, I thought that was, and I don't want to go live on Tuesday against the Tooneytown guys. Those are our boys, but, we'll figure out the next NXT PLE to go live for sure. And see if anything else works out too. Cause I had way more fun than I thought we were going to.
Izzy is with a little more time, like about 6-7 months, maybe a year. She's going to be really good.
Yes, I agree.
Obviously, she already has the size, but she just needs a little time. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
She's
only 26. She's
you
young
can see it You can see it in her like it's there. I
Yeah.
can tell something's there, so that's good. I can't describe it, but I can tell.
No, you're right. And you got to think of it too. She's only what, 26, and she's only really been on NXT. She was signed in the end of 2022. So she's really only been at this 3 years, and she's already where she's at. Like that's again, shout out to the NIL program. She's a volleyball player. We looked that up during the show. I didn't remember what it was. We're like, it's basketball or volleyball. That's a tall girl. Yeah, no, that was fun because I don't think I've
definitely
seen
there.
Yeah, I hadn't from when we were watching. I could remember like her teaming with Tatum and doing other things. This is the first like full singles match I can remember like really watching of hers, and I was impressed. No, that was enjoyable, and actually like I feel like everybody, like even the chat said it was good. Even Awful was like, no, this is pretty good. That was enjoyable.
Well, they did a nice job of. Yeah, is he trying to bring her back as a friend? And the doll thing was pretty cool. They did a bunch of nice stuff.
Yeah, no, they made it work.
Psychological warfare. I like that.
And that's kind of like Sean Spears is kind of similar to Ethan Page in the way where he's kind of great where he is. Like he is a good worker, but do you need him on the main roster? Or is he there? Is he a better like player coach situation where? And obviously that's. They found a great fit for him, and kind of similar to Ethan Page, he's got young kids, so it makes a lot of sense.
They put him in the coach player role.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
He's very,
that's
very.
That's a valid point.
Yeah,
that's a valid point. Ethan's the player coach. You're right. You nailed that.
Which is fine though. Which is fine.
No, and I'm sure he's getting a great page, and he's doing what he wants because him and Tyler Breeze have a wrestling school, so clearly he's got a passion to teach. So, and yet. He's best friends with Cody. Like, yeah, you can see he's happy because he's doing good work with it. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the culling, but I get what they're doing with it. It's the dark group, so eventually they can all turn on him. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, there's ways to go. That's a good little thing there. Perfect.
And then the main event, which was it was great. It was a great match with it, but obviously for what happens afterwards, it was the big reason why it was the main event. But Javon Evans versus Leon Slater versus Joe Hendry. Dion Lennox and Miles Bourne. And they started with the three youngest guys. They started with Javon and Leon and then brought Miles Bourne into there, which I thought was good because that's kind of showing, hey, we think you guys can lead this and hold this for the first, 10 minutes? That's pretty big. I thought that was good.
Yeah. It started, they started both of them strong. Like they put their most confidence in the first two people in each of them, the women's and the men's. So they came out firing on all cylinders, which was good to start things, which I like.
Yeah. And then once everybody got in there, this was the one where Javon, I think it was Javon, might have been, somebody was in the penalty box and like the door opens and they come out and like, it just, they had the angle on the penalty box. So the door swings out and then swings back and just bam.
Yeah. This was the match where you did not want to be in the penalty box for any reason whatsoever.
No, they were beating the crap out of each other. Somebody locked the door on somebody. Like, this was fun.
Javon actually jumped over the top. He got locked in.
Yeah, I think it might have been Dion Lennox again. Somebody locked him in though. I think it was Lennox. That makes sense. He was the one heel in the match, so he had to do extra work. He had to do lots of healing. I appreciate that.
He actually looked good.
Yeah, right. No,
I haven't seen him wrestle. I haven't seen him wrestle too much. Since I've been watching NXT, so he actually showed something, which was nice.
And especially outside of Dark State, like now I've been bad at, as I've said many of times, I'm terrible at names, but now I know, like of Dark State, I know him. Like now to me, they're like Dion Lennox and Dark State as opposed to just Dark State. They've moved on to Frankie Valli in the 4 seasons. Yeah, no, he's just, and that was I was a good showing. I was impressed by him, and Joe's picked him as well to win the match, which I got to a point, but I kind of figured where with the men's title match, and especially knowing it was going to be Oba, it just seemed to me that Javon was the one that made the most sense, but they went back and forth. There was like, Javon went coast to coast on Joe Hendry in a corner, and then Joe goes out of the ring and Leon Slater comes out and hits Javon from that one. There was a lot of fun spots in this match. They really went well. There was a point where a good portion of it where everybody was tied at 1, like, so it was basically sudden death. Like,
perfect.
That was entertaining. Like, that's what I like about it. That's where, it was last year's Iron Survivor where it was all tied up and close, and Oba Femi was supposed to be taken out by Trick. And then he came out with like 4 minutes to go, maybe 3 in the match, and just murked everybody. Just came in and just, it's fun with that. They work well with that timer. It's not like, certain things where the beat the clock challenge where they're just going to like, oh, he's going to start pinning him at 2 seconds or whatever. They made it fun. I enjoyed it.
When Dose made his pick, I got real nervous. I'm like, okay, you're picking the one guy no one's even thinking about. I'm like, oh, shit.
I kept saying, I'm like, the only ones that made sense to me were Javon, Joe, and Miles, because they were like, I guess you could have done Leon Slater, but I'm like, I feel like if they would have been promoting it for the match to be on TNA. Like that would have made more sense for that because of that, and Javon just makes the most sense, especially against Oba, because I don't think they've had like a real one-on-one match yet.
Yeah, I think they're going to they may have to do something updating Joe Hendry a little bit. I don't know. Awful mentioned it last night too. But I still think he's something's missing. That's all. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think he's still kind of getting his feet wet and kind of similar to what I was saying about Ricky Saints, just kind of making sure like, okay, this is the character that you're at, but will eventually evolve. Cause he's really only been officially with WWE since like September, October. So it's not been super long. So, well, I mean, he's been working there and stuff, but also too, like you have to kind of shake off the stink of, AEW, you got to shake off the stink of the indies, but he seems, he should.
Can somebody that's listening, can you tell me if Jake's coming in okay? I'm getting static on my end, but I don't know if it's me or not. So
I can just refresh real quick. Check this out.
Just put a comment in for me so I know, so he knows. I'm getting kind of static feedback from him, and I can't tell if it's just me or not. So if you could put a comment into the comment little section down here and just say Jake is fine or you're full of shit, George, one of those things would be fine.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's all staticky.
Really?
Like bad.
Somebody put in a comment. Am I staticky to everybody?
Mike Glass, help me out.
Right? I'm like, anybody, comment. You can comment.
Jesus. The one time I actually want some feedback.
Am I seriously not good?
I thought I was watching that match and they were bouncing all over the place. And like you even said it during the broadcast, like the last 3 minutes are going to be crazy. They were nuts.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. It was fun. Am I still
okay?
Shitty?
Thanks, Mike.
Am I still
it's just
shitty?
Me. No problem.
All right, cool. All right, thanks, Mike. All right, that's all we need. Yeah. So everybody, if I go shitty or like you can't hear either of us, if we get wonky, because we hear, as we learned from George's, was it your video camera that has a mic in it that we didn't realize? Because I heard you sounding through your mic here. So yeah, we're still figuring this all out technically. But hey, as long as I'm still connected. But
yeah,
no, you're right. It went bonkers crazy. Like when they got that point where everybody was at one, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
It got nuts.
Yeah.
Quick.
No, and again, these are all, I mean, Joe Hendry's the most seasoned veteran in there. Everybody else was under the age of 30, like I've said, I got a lot of love and faith for Miles Bourne, and not just because he's the one who bagged Stephanie Benkert. Good for him. But just, I think he's hilarious. I think he's talented. I think it'd be fun, but it all made sense too with Javon winning and Oba comes out and does his little march and then they put up the credits, but the lights go out and there's a little video package of a big guy walking down a street, kind of blurry. And then all of a sudden he's in the ring behind Javon. And it took a second, but to give him a couple months off, get him a little bit bigger and a big old beard. And Tony D came back looking badass.
I thought it was Rusev.
It did, like his eyes. But yeah, no, it was like he was, I was surprised. And I knew they were doing something with Tony D because obviously when we saw him get, Tony Soprano at the end of that episode a couple of months ago, he was clearly, they were either going to bring him up and revamp the character or revamp the character in NXT, and NXT makes the most sense because there's no rush. He's only 30. There's plenty of time. But I'm excited to see what they do with this. I really am. What was it? July 29th was when he went away. Wow. I didn't realize it was that long ago.
Yeah. You gotta be able to grow a beard. It takes a while.
I mean, for sure. Especially like that was a thick. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what they do next with him. And then maybe we'll find out who, it was like, who shot JR? Who shot Tony D?
Well, they definitely have a reason for doing that. I mean, if they tell you to go away and grow facial, they probably told them grow some facial hair and come back, and they came back with a friggin' Grizzly Adams beard. I'm like, there's a reason for it, so we'll see what it is.
Yeah, no, and I mean, even like the jacket was a different look. Like he was definitely, I am no longer the quintessential mob boss. He's not, you know, like even if he's like, obviously they won't keep the mob, but like, yeah, he's clearly, I'm here to be different, which I was excited for that. I thought that I did not expect that. The only thing I thought of him was thought there might have been a chance that he could have been the masked man, but I still kind of always thought he was going to come back and do something with NXT that wasn't the D'Angelo, the mob character, simply because, as we've talked about, NXT makes sure everybody good, take care of everything, make sure you're seasoned, and not like Vince, where I'll push him to the moon. He's had 7 matches, Vince.
No, but I also like the fact that they can recognize when a gimmick is getting along in the tooth.
Yes.
And cut it off, because at that point the family thing was getting a little much. Like it did. A little too much, and I was just starting to watch it, so even I picked up on the fact that this has been, this is getting a little annoying to me.
Yeah,
they must be able to figure it out on their end, and then they say, okay, we're gonna end this and come back here in 3-4 months. You're good.
Like, well, the family, like, they were heels, because I remember when I first watching, they were heels, and then they turned babyface, and you even kind of there was like, all right, this only has so much longer as a babyface run. And they ran it longer than it should have, but it ended up working out, though, because he's really the only person that's beat Oba Femi. Like, really. Like, it was for the North American Championship when Oba was going for that. So there's history there. That's intriguing. And I assume he'll be on NXT on Tuesday. I assume they're back at the Performance Center.
You would think.
Yeah, I would think, or at least a video, like a vignette or something. But I would think he'll just come out and cut a promo at some point.
He'll be there. He'll be there.
Yeah, NXT is great.
I don't see a reason why he wouldn't be. They don't do that shit where they premiere somebody and they put them off for 2 weeks. They bring them right on.
Right, exactly. They know what they're doing with it for sure, and they got a good plan for him. And yeah, that's what it was, Julian. I knew he took you something. It was the crowbar. I knew the family health. Julian Ward was the crowbar he hit him with. Yeah, no, it was good. And I always said the D'Angelo family was fine for NXT. Like, everybody got to learn, figure out who they were, and then it goes away. It can't only do so much with a, mob gimmick. But it was fun. I always thought Tony was talented. I always liked Tony. I was like, he's a big guy. He's got like the football background. He can cut a promo. He's willing to do what you ask. He can be silly. I mean, the characters were serious, but they were silly serious. So he was like Joe Pesci. No, I appreciate it.
It's the old school gimmick game back from the 80s, early 90s.
Which I read more reasons why Sean's there. Like, he knows that. I mean, how many jobs did he wrestle against at one point from like 92 to 98?
Yeah, you gotta remember we had garbage men, hockey players, dentists, repo guys.
The repo.
We can just keep going and going.
The Canadian
everybody
Mountie.
had an occupation.
Oh, yeah, everybody. Yep. Nope. There was the plumber. Was it T.L. Hopper? Yeah. Oof. Yeah. No, Vince. He left in that, and that's. I mean, he really thought it was going to be a play. The new generation, pal.
Well, I figured it. I figured that out too. So that was
yeah. No, but I enjoyed the show. Obviously, I'd been talking about wanting to do live watch-alongs forever, and just said, screw, I have a watch party. And no, I thank everybody who tuned in, everybody who's watched it recently. It still seems to be getting decent views online, so people are enjoying it. The replay gang watched it. That's, hey, it's something different, something fun, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I wasn't expecting that many people to come hang. That was fun. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the show. I would say overall it was a solid B+ show for me. Like, nothing super special, but wasn't bad by any means.
Where was I? B-? Yeah, same thing. Same thing.
I was gonna say we're very similar in that. Yeah, like Dave. It's 4 3/4. That's basically 5 stars.
Yeah.
No, I just laughing because that's literally what I listened to before we came on was Cornette and Last talking about Dave's star ratings for the pay-per-view Full Gear, which is great because I'm blocked by Dave. I don't see any of the stars. So I didn't know anything of what he was going to be rating.
You don't see this. You don't see the star ratings on Twitter. You have to pay for those, dude.
That's behind the paywall.
No, it's in the well, it's not the newsletter anymore. Well, it still is a newsletter, but now it's digital.
Newsletter, but yeah. But now it's editable. He can go in and re-edit it now. Like when it was
never
printed,
happens. Which never happens.
Never. No.
No, he doesn't do that.
No, I thought he did once because of a bad reporting or something. Maybe
like he'll actually obviously he uses no punctuation, so that's obvious. But grammar and stuff, you could see like errors everywhere. Like I'm not an English major, but I mean, come on. A comma, a period, something. Help me out.
It's 2025. I mean, you had that stuff in the 90s where it'll tell you when you have just like the red lines on the screen. It's not like telling you you're special. It's telling you that's an error. But I mean, listen how he talks. He just stream of consciousness. He just goes. I'm telling you, it's the shoe polish, man. Just seeped into his brain.
Never know.
Yeah. No.
So are you? What was your match of the week? 'Cause I'm off tomorrow.
Oh, I
wrote it down, but now it's gone.
No, I don't remember what I said.
I wouldn't mind doing that tomorrow.
But yeah, no, I can. Let me find my. I literally cleaned my desk soup. I deep cleaned this morning, so I will be able to find it. I feel like there was something. What was it? I feel like there was something. Did I tie something into Cena? Maybe no. We already did Cena. I don't remember. I have no idea. I've got a list somewhere though, but
Mick Foley versus The Rock.
Oh yeah, the January 4th,
1999.
Yeah. Filmed in 98, but January 4th, 1999. Mick Foley did it. Foley did it. He wins the title mostly because of that Austin pop. Like that's, and then I want to have that on because I still feel like to me. Watching wrestling, that's the biggest pop I can personally remember, like watching live. Just the moment that glass hit, because you knew, like, oh, Mick's winning the title. Because I wasn't watching WCW, I didn't get told by Tony Schiavone to come over. I'd given up on WCW by then.
That's funny. I watched WCW when this happened, dude. I remember this like it was yesterday.
So
we're watching. Me and my buddy are over at my house. Yeah. We're watching WCW, and it was kind of a blasé match. It was all right. And Bischoff gets on there and goes, "We're live. If you go over to the other place taped, you'll see Mick Foley win the title." I'm like, "Fuck, let's get over there, dude." We jumped over. It was great.
Yeah. No. That was one of those. So the way I remember the Monday Night War is because back the way it was for me and what I could afford and what we had was I could watch one show live and tape the other one on the VCR, and then I'd watch that. And there was a point where I was watching Nitro live and taping Raw, and at some point I switched. Some point in '98, I forget when, but I'd switched because I was still watching both, but I'd switched. And I remember watching that live, and I can still remember that pop and like. On my mom's couch, like, oh, fuck.
But a lot of people never knew that, like, WWE and WCW would go head to head for that time, but then WCW would run the immediate replay right after. Nobody remembers that.
Yeah, well, it was the West Coast feed. Well, because also, too.
If you missed it, you just watched it during it. It's fine.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, too, is honestly back, in the West Coast area, if you're TNT, like it was airing like at 5:00 was when it was airing live on the West Coast.
Oh yeah, I remember when I had to go out for a business trip. I had to go to California. I was called California because I don't remember where I was. I had to go out there, and I'm like, okay, wrestling's on tonight at 8. And I get in my hotel and I put on the TV, and I'm getting ready to eat dinner, and there it is. I'm like, okay, what the hell's going on?
yeah, no, that time difference will get you. No, that's why. No, that's that's with the time zones I live in. Half the year I'm in Mountain Time, half the year I'm in Pacific Time, and I so much prefer Mountain Time for that alone. Like, I'm not ready to watch Raw at 5:00 usually if I'm work. Like, I just got off work, but 6:00's a little bit easier. But yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, no, that is the one. I knew I picked something that I hadn't written down on my little sheet. That was it. It was because of that pop. Yeah. I saw something. Oh, it was I watched Mick Foley's interview with Chris Van Vliet, like right before we done it. That's what it was. And because I love it. Who doesn't love Mick Foley? I mean, seriously, it's like Mick Foley and Dusty Rhodes. There's like nobody who has bad things to say about him.
You'll find somebody.
Anybody who does is because they think they should have been Bob Holly. Like they're like Bob Holly. Well, I know what you should do. Have me beat him and I'll win the title. Like,
when we did our interview with Howard Baum, he told us that little story about Dusty Rhodes. That was pretty funny. About
this is true. That is good. Yeah, no. That was a good one. That was a fun conversation. We should bring him back on sometime. That was good. Oh no.
So we're almost done, but I wanted to ask a question because it came up in something I was listening to the other day, and it kind of made me think. For you, who is the biggest heel in wrestling? Let's make it simple. Let's call it from the time you're alive. So, time you were watching it.
I was able. I started watching I essentially always kind of figured 1990 is when I was really
call it from 2000 on.
Okay. Oh, from 2000 on.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe the best of all time. I don't know. We'll see.
No, I mean,
mine. So.
Yeah, I mean, for me at that point, especially where I was, because I remember in 2000 is when I graduated high school, and I'm still in my, 20s through from a good chunk of that. Triple H's reign of terror, I hated lots of that. Looking back on it now, I get it. There's parts of it are just like, oh God, you again? Especially with me going to SummerSlam 2003. Where Goldberg should have won that Elimination Chamber, that made the most, and Triple H still won. There were parts of that were just what? That's, off the top of my head, that's where I would go first. I'm not sure if I can. Also CM Punk with Jeff Hardy and Rey Mysterio. He was when
it was mentioned to me, it took me 3 seconds to give my answer.
All right, what's up,
Mr. McMahon?
Oh, well,
by far.
Yeah. But his heel run technically started. Guess Triple H did.
Dude, that whole.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're
doesn't
right.
exist without that.
No, you're right. Especially too, because even India, obviously he thought he was going to be the babyface with Brett, and that wasn't going to happen. But beyond that, there were times where he would try to do everything he could to become the babyface, and it was still no, you're not. You're not.
Once he fully embraced it, that was it.
Yeah. But even still, I feel there were times where he tried not to be, where he would there would be some sort of storyline where he'd be the babyface for a little bit, and then eventually turn back heel because he knew he had to be the heel.
I've been watching and you know who else had this down? Funny you mentioned. Oh shit, not Steve Gennarelli. John McAdam also has him down for best heel.
No, thinking about it, you're right. I just was thinking of wrestlers, and I know he wrestled.
That's where I was heading first, and I'm I'm thinking about it, going, well,
no, Vince is the answer.
A lot of those iconic things never happen.
Yeah,
without Vince.
Plus,
Mr. McMahon, I'm sorry.
Say what you want about Triple H, marrying into the family and power play or whatever, but as a person now, you don't hate him. Vince was a terrible human being, the entire time. From Rita Chatterton to Janelle Grant.
You remember the ending to Raw where he's walking by all the wrestlers and he's all quiet with his short haircut. He's just walking by everybody. They're all looking at him. He gets into his limo. Gets into his limo. The limo blows up, and people bought it. Bought it.
Was it who called? That was Donald Trump.
A lot of people called.
Yeah, no, but actually, called the, that was
called the local police. That's awesome.
That's a good. You think they would just call it pop bottles to celebrate? No, I remember watching that. Knowing it was fake, but no, but that was still, I remember. Yeah, Vince was the heeliest heel, man. And remember, they were going to run through where he was going to, and his brother was going to show up or whatever. They were going to really do that. Oh man.
Yeah, it's amazing when you look back on it. Maybe one day we'll start looking back on all that.
I just saw in the chat, Julian Ward posted a picture. Maybe Ethan Page versus CM Punk on Saturday. I could be for that. They've had wars back and forth. I could see that. I'm not opposed.
They're gonna do that. They best announce that tomorrow.
Well, we said that on the watch party yesterday. You've got Raw and Smack. They've got 3 other matches or 2 other matches? Because you got Cena, obviously, and then you've got the.
Oh, now you're gonna go out on me. There you are. Good.
What? Am I going? Am I good? Hello?
No, you're
all right. Cool. I was gonna say. I was like, all right. I was because we're almost done. No, I was gonna say, which happened before. No, but if they're usually only 4 matches at Saturday night's main event, so they only have 2 more matches to announce. So Raw, NXT, or SmackDown, they'll get announced, and they'll be fine. Which I'm excited to watch.
They may go They may go 5.
They could. And that would actually work for me because then you announce one match at each show, which makes the most sense to me. Announce a match on Raw, on NXT, and SmackDown, and maybe have somebody wrestle for it, like on NXT, like whoever wins this match gets to wrestle CM Punk and Ethan Page wins, whatever. I don't know. I'm into that though. I'm sold.
That's probably what they're going to do.
No, I'm sold on that. No, Raw should be good tomorrow, and NXT will be great on Tuesday, especially with the Fallout, and then SmackDown Friday, and then Cena's last match on Saturday. I don't expect to get emotional, but I get emotional.
Wednesday. Dynamite Wednesday.
Oh, well, that was I meant to WWE cover that. No, I was going to cover what we're getting into.
Can't forget our bread and butter.
No, AEW Dynamite. No, but I feel like I shouldn't promote that, but just watch our show on Thursday, our live review. We'll watch.
Once they start watching, they're not going to watch long anyway. Don't worry about
it. It's a slog. You can literally see my notes getting madder. Like you can see how I'm writing with my hand. Like, oh, come on. No more Moxley. No, but if you want to hang out with us, we do a live Dynamite review every Thursday night on our YouTube channel at AltJakeTakesOn, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, where we review every single segment. Hopefully Tony Khan going live beforehand. Come on, Tony. And then, we'll record our, classic match of the week tomorrow and a recorded episode sometime this week, and back here next Sunday after Saturday night's main event at 8:05 p.m. Eastern to talk all about Saturday night's main event and John Cena's last match. I could see myself getting slightly emotional at parts of that. I mean, it's a large chunk of my wrestling life was John Cena, and he shook my hand at a show once, and I will never forget that. I was like,
could be a lot of dust,
right?
In the air.
Yeah, just who's cutting onions? All right, cool. Well, anything else you wanted to cover before we get out of here? I feel like we've hung out a lot.
My notes are all checked off,
awesome.
Dude. My notes are
awesome. Well, again, thanks everybody for listening tonight. Thanks everybody who hung out with us yesterday for the live watch party. We'll absolutely be doing more of those. That was a ton of fun. If you haven't listened to it, go back and check it on our YouTube. It was a good time. Also available on all podcast feeds, and we will catch you here next week. Yeah.
Hang on. Hang on. One more. Yeah. If you come in, if you're listening to the any live show on YouTube, if you're just listening and you don't want to you want to chat, but you really don't want to say your opinion because it's against everybody else's, just subscribe to the channel and come in. You don't got to be 100% behind what we say and what chat says. It doesn't matter to us. We don't care. As long as you're respectful to people in there, that's all we're going to ask. If you've got a difference of opinion and you've got reasons why, bring them. I'm happy to put them on screen and talk about it. You don't even got to have reasons.
No, I'm just
why.
saying, but
I don't mind.
For the people,
just get in there, have some fun.
Right, for sure, yes. But if you're enjoying what we do, every subscription helps. Comments help. Whether that's YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. But yeah, come hang out with us live. We've just like this show, we weren't expecting to be as much fun as it's been, but this week coming up will be our 12th week in a row of doing AEW Dynamite live. So awesome.
I just wanted to say that before we
you're good. That's good. I like it. No, it's one of those things. It's like, I feel weird promoting, but it does help. And I feel like when I watch shows and they're like, oh, hit the like button. Oh crap, I didn't do that, because you'd be shocked how much that helps the algorithm. So thanks for everybody for hanging out. We will catch you next week. Peace.